Hi, this is my benchmarking discussion video. I remember back when one of my first phones was the Nokia flip phone, and back at the time it was very popular. Didn't have many features compared to now, but at the time it was a new thing. Didn't really have a camera. Was able to text and do phone calls. It was black and white, flipped open, to protect the buttons. And it seems like every 6 months new parts of at least part of the technology becomes outdated and needs to be changed and innovated in new ways to create the new best thing for customers. Motorola, I'm a big Android fan, not a big Apple fan. I'm a little biased, but Motorola has over the years has to, not just them but other companies, need to focus on higher quality features, or at least what the customer perceives as high quality. Back then there was no cameras, but nowadays camera becomes standard on all of them. It's kind of the benchmarking over the years is, every phone needs to have a camera. Now, to stay on top of the competition, Motorola needs to have the biggest screen size, the flattest phone, the lightest phone, more apps, more widgets, more memory, more battery life. They need to focus on improving on all of these on a continual basis, because as soon as they come out with a new big screen or a flatter screen, then Apple comes out with a very comparable, or at least the exact same, within sometimes exceeds what Android or any other company has created. So it's kind of like a ladder race going back and forth between the two. They also have to balance between what they feel the customers are asking for and in relation to what the other companies are doing at the same time. It creates kind of a competitive model for companies to use what products are coming out and create something very similar or slightly better than what their competition is using. So like the examples before is like Motorola wants to have the top phones, and they kind of create their models in relation to the iPhones. They try to take what the iPhone does and do it a little better, a little faster, a little neater, a little thicker, thinner, however, what they feel the customer wants. What else is there? Basically, they need to either match or exceed what the competition is doing to keep a leg up on the market. If they keep matching back and forth, the customers will stay or grow, whatever, it'll be the same. But if they keep exceeding them over and over again, then the level of quality, at least perceived by the customer, increases with that product. And Motorola can gain more market share and be top part of the competition. But to do this, they need to benchmark. They need to constantly be aware of what Apple, because they're their main competitor, what Apple are creating, and change accordingly to the market trends and what's the new thing. What else is there? Another thing is if one company between the two of them would slow down in their research or their technology, they'd very quickly fall behind in the race, because it's such a competitive market. Cell phones are like the biggest thing, biggest technology. And before they were just for calling, then texting, then taking videos, but now it's a full service with all the widgets and the apps. You can read your email, you can surf the net, download movies, you can create movies. So it's kind of an all-encompassing tool like computers used to be. Now the cell phones are your computer. So in addition to just having the calling features, Motorola needs to stay in line with what the customers want, which is like a full computing phone. So not just calling, but they need to be able to do all of their work, all of their schoolwork, be able to keep in touch with friends with social media. And while doing this, they also need to be aware that Apple's doing the exact same thing, and try to create comparable products that customers will choose over Apple's, because in addition to being competitive, there's a lot of customer loyalty in between the two. A lot of Apple fans will only buy Apple, and a lot of Android fans will only buy Android. So they need to get those people in between who aren't completely loyal and sell them the next best thing and be competitive, and use benchmarking tools to be better than their competition, or at least perceived to be better than their competition.